All right, looks like we're on to the mixing section, which is the part that is the most fun for DJs. This is where you add that sheen. You can add all your fun effects to the tracks and get it to sound more pro, more professional, more ready to be out there for the world. So I like to go into my audio effects. These are the built-in effects that Ableton has, and I honestly just use two effects. They are the auto filter and the EQ3. These two effects can be found on most DJ mixers in most clubs, and that coupled with the actual track volume automation lane, which is here, and that's, again, it's just the gain, are the easiest and most effective ways to get your DJ mix to sound pro, to sound great. So let's get that down there. I'm doing a lot of fiddling. I'm just trying to get the track back to 0. All right, if you double click, it gets rid of that kind of automation rubber band point. We have our mix point set and our tracks overlaid. Now what we need to do is utilize these effects. I'm going to drag on the EQ3 to that channel. There we go. And the EQ3 onto this. Just going to minimize that. Just drag the master down. Bring that in. And the auto filter, we're going to drag one of those onto each track. Make sure that we open up the filter all the way. Filter all the way. Very simple. I'll show you an example of how the auto filter works. So let's just start the track from here. And just play around with it. And I'll give you an example of how the EQ works. The EQ3, it's just the low frequencies, mid frequencies, and high frequencies. So it takes away the bass. You can just go 0 to get it back. Mids, kind of the guts of the track. And then the highs are the treble up top. 0 everything out. And all you want to do, the way I mix, it's very simple. If I take out the lows of the track that's ending, I bring in the lows of the track that's coming in. And if I want to add a cool filter just to give it a more sunset cascading sound, I'll add it. So I'm going to pretty much go over the top with these to show you what the program can do. And you might not want to use it this much, but it's okay to use it as much as you want or as little as you want. But remember, just be tasteful. Make sure it sounds good to your ears. There's two ways of going about mixing your tracks. You can automate with kind of record automation where you record your movement. So me doing that will be recorded and me doing this will be recorded. Or you can actually draw it in. What you need to do is go back into the settings one last time, and you want to go start transport with record in the record warp launch and turn that off. That allows us to do is basically any movements that I do with the tracks, they will be recorded. It's easy as that. I'm gonna hit play. Right there. Simple as that. So all of my points have been, let's zoom in. They have been recorded. And now you can go in and edit those to your heart's content, move them up, move them down. You can just double click to get rid of them. So basically the possibilities are infinite and you can go nuts with it. Now let's just go back and delete all of that. Just gonna undo. Boom. All right, I'm just gonna draw this in for sake of the tutorial. And what I'm doing is just going to draw a nice line, so it's going to fade out. And then the Gaudier remix, let's go to our EQ3 parameters and start that there. I'm going to drag that one in. And for sake of this mix, let's add a filter for the outro of the Tosh Barker track. It's going to be a little over the top so you can hear it. And anytime you actually touch or record a parameter, it will automatically go to that so you can see what you did and you can go back and edit it. Ableton Live is extremely intuitive in that manner. So let's do a relative listen back. So we'll listen back from a little bit before the mix, make sure it sounds to our liking. Zoom out. That sounds pretty pro. Sounds like we're actually on vinyl mixers or CDJs out in the club right now. And I'm just going to do the same sort of mix style for this track coming in. I'm going to bring in the EQ, the low frequency, just kind of right where that track is ending. And I'm going to take out this one. And I'm also going to record, enable the auto filter. The same sort of mix. This is actually a track that's coming in. Alright, I see what is going on here. That's a little bit too high. Make sure that you bring this to 0. You don't want to go over 0. 0 is digital clipping area. Anything over 0 decibels, it just sounds bad. So try to stay away from that. So now that we've got our 3 songs mixed together, just want to do a quick listen back on that one. Make sure it sounds good. That sounded fantastic. Looks like we can move on to our last 2 sections, which are critical listening and mastering exporting.